Thank you, Reshmin. Good afternoon, everyone. The FA Cup remains the oldest and greatest domestic cup competition, and it's this sort of fixture that proves exactly why. 1978 winners Ipswich are enjoying a great renaissance under Kieran McKenna. They are chasing the Premier League. Maidstone United are here in the fourth round for the first time ever and could become the lowest ranked team to reach the last 16 since 1978. Today, Maidstone and their 4,500 supporters dream of a cup upset that would rank as one of the greats. These are the teams. Walton is the Ipswich goalkeeper, Ball, Transebi, Edmondson and Humphreys the defenders, Morsey and Taylor in midfield, Hutchinson, Aluko and Sarmiento behind Broadhead. For Maidstone United, Lucas Coverland is in goal, Gavin Hoyt, George Fowler, Sam Bone, Paul Appiah and Harry Cipriano in defence, Jacob Berkeley Adjapong, Liam Sol and Sam Corn in midfield, Manny Duku and Lamar Reynolds are the two up front. It is one of 9 commentaries. We're bringing you this FA Cup fourth round weekend across the TalkSport network. Whatever the drama, wherever the shock, if you love the cup, make sure you stick with TalkSport. 98 league places between these two teams. The one-time winners chasing a spot in the Premier League, and the non-leaguers, the National League South team, chasing a massive giant killing. And it'll be Ipswich Town in blue and white who'll play from left to right in the first half towards the Sir Alf Ramsey end of the ground, and Maidstone United, the amber shirts, black shorts and black socks, playing from right to left. George Alakobi, the manager, stands proudly on the touchline. Ipswich of the Championship get the cup tie off and underway, and a thumping header out of defence early on for George Fowler of Maidstone United. What a day for him, coming back to the club where he began his career as a schoolboy. Raking ball up the middle is headed away by Maidstone again. This time it was Appiah on loan from Leicester City in the way, and lots of yellow balloons flying up into the sky from the cobbled stand on the far side of the field where those Maidstone United supporters are belting out their songs. It's a lovely day for football, and lots of it to come across TalkSport and TalkSport 2, where we've got commentary of Everton against Luton at 3 o'clock, Fulham against Newcastle on TalkSport at 7. Tomorrow, West Brom against Wolves, Liverpool against Norwich, Newport against Manchester United, all live on TalkSport. And on Monday night, Blackburn against Wrexham is on TalkSport 2. Just under a minute gone here, and Ipswich have had almost all of the possession so far, as you'd expect in the early stages. Cameron Humphreys, the left back, getting forward on the far side of the field. Back it goes now to George Edmondson, who's just inside opposition territory, and Maidstone sitting very deep and allowing Ipswich to come forward as we would have expected. The ball is back with Edmondson again, just inside Maidstone territory. Here's Axel Tuansebi in the centre circle. He scored his first senior goal in the round 3 win over Wimbledon. Ipswich now with ball, and Ipswich keeping possession, and no need for Kieran McKenna's team to force the issue early on, Matt.
They started brightly, haven't they? Moving the ball sharply. Maidstone sitting off them, allowing them to do so. The two full-backs pushing high, Ball and Cameron Humphreys both get into advanced positions.
Bright sunshine and blue skies as Hutchinson crosses towards the far post, knocked back towards Broadhead, took a double deflection, and in the end it goes behind for a goal kick. Fowler got the important touch, the centre half, with the sky blue boots on, and as Broadhead tried to reach the ball at the back post, it deflected off his head and went behind. Maidstone a little lucky, but they survive. 2 minutes gone. Ipswich Town 0, Maidstone United 0. You're listening to the FA Cup on TalkSport.
Well, I talked about the fullbacks getting forward for Ipswich. It was actually Cameron Humphreys who made his way to that far post. He tried to pull the ball back to Nathan Broadhead, whose shot got blocked, came back and ricocheted off him for a goal kick. But you've got two centre midfielders playing at fullback for Ipswich today. Cameron Humphreys and Don Ball, both central midfielders, so both are comfortable in forward positions.
Maidstone have never got as far as this in the FA Cup. They were wound up in the early 90s, but they've risen from the ashes to go again. A proud non-league football club up against the winners in 1978. Ipswich coming forward on the far side there left with Jeremy Sarmiento, who scored his first goal for the club in a draw at Leicester. Lovely reverse ball in towards Broadhead. He knocked it down towards Jack Taylor. Appiah gets it away, not very far. Now here's Aluko with his back to goal. Out to the right, and Hutchinson, first time cross, steered up into the air and away from danger by Sam Corn, who was scorer of that famous winning goal for Maidstone in the third round victory over to Stevenage. I can see George Alakobi, the manager, a former Wolves player who played in the FA Cup plenty of times in his playing career. He's got his baseball cap on and he's issuing instructions from the near side of the field. We're high up in the main stand and a steep drop to the touchline below, but you can already see a little bit of concern for George Alakobi about how the game is started with Ipswich so dominant in possession.
It's going to be a long afternoon. If the first 3.5 minutes are anything to go by, it's been total domination by Ipswich. Had all the ball, Mason sat off them, and they're getting the run around at the moment. Can't get near Ipswich Town.
Long ball forward by Ball, high into the penalty area. Broadhead jumping, headed away initially by Gavin Hoyt, the captain. Flick further clear towards the halfway line by Corn. It'll just come back at Maidstone United. And of course, in any FA Cup tie, particularly when there's such a massive chasm between the two teams in terms of league places, the first goal is always very important. Given the setup of the two sides, Matt, it feels even more vital today.
Yeah, it does. I mean, look, it's a fabulous atmosphere, isn't it? Crowd are making a really good noise.
And Ipswich coming forward with Sarmiento, who hits the post from range. Hutchinson on the follow-up. Brilliant save by Coverland, the goalkeeper. Coverland, the big Brazilian, getting down to make the stop, to turn away the rebound, because that shot from Hutchinson took a deflection. Just seconds before that, Sarmiento screamer against the post. Very good start from Ipswich. Still 0-0 just about.
Oh, what an effort from Sarmiento. Put it back onto his left foot, curled it towards that far corner. So unlucky to see it ricochet off the post. When it came back to Amari Hutchin, you fancied him actually. It took a little bit longer than he wanted to get his shot away, and it gave Coverland the chance to get across his goal and make the save. Brilliant start from the home side.
Lucas Coverland, the goalkeeper, all in orange. He once scored in a National League playoff final that his team went on to lose on penalty kicks, would you believe it? Lovely little flick by Sarmiento to the left, and Humphreys, he's crossing towards the near post. Broadhead trying to bring it down, cleared away by Corn. It's come back to Ipswich Town again. Ipswich all over the National League South Club Maidstone in the early stages here. Still goalless live on TalkSport, but you have to say it feels like it won't be that way for much longer. High ball hoisted up towards the corner of the penalty area on the far side by Morsey, is headed away by Gavin Hoyt, and Maidstone look to knock the ball up towards the halfway line, and the big forward Manny Duku, who's making his full debut today, having only joined earlier this week from the Gibraltar club Manchester 62, and Duku's first real involvement in the game is to win Maidstone a throw on the halfway line to big cheers from the away fans.
Well, he put the skipper Sam Morsey under enough pressure that all he could do was knock it into touch, but it's been a tough opening for them. There's a real baptism of fire the way that Ipswich are moving it, 1 and 2 touch. It's a long 90 minutes when you're chasing the ball.
George Alakobi was speaking to fans before the game. When I arrived at the ground a few hours ago, there were lots of Maidstone fans in their black and amber scarves already here. Plenty of Ipswich supporters too, and once again Portman Road is a virtual sellout today. Lovely quick dynamic feet from Sarmiento, on loan from Brighton and Hove Albion, to find Cam Humphreys, who skips in field, plays the ball square to Morsey. Morsey onto Ball on the near side, the former QPR player. And now Hutchinson, who's on loan from Chelsea. Infield from the right to Aluko. He looked to get the return ball. Cipriano, the defender, the left back for Maidstone, is defending, and he's done enough to shepherd the ball behind and out of play for a goal kick. And Maidstone, 6.5 minutes into the game, still scoreless, maybe just about starting to settle into it now.
Well, it's incredible, isn't it? They've won 6 games to get here.
Yeah.
And the last 3 rounds, they've gone National League, League 2, League 1, and now they're playing a Championship side. And it's just the golf in class, isn't it? That's the difference. I mean, they've gone up a level each time, and this is the stiffest of examinations. None of the ball so far. They've had a lot of chasing to do. They're in the game. And there's a great atmosphere.
This time last year in the FA Cup, they were already out, beaten in the 4th qualifying round by Needham Market elsewhere in Suffolk, and here they are back in Suffolk for the 4th round proper, and the chance to reach the 5th round and become the lowest ranked team to do so since Blythe Spartans in 1978. The ball is on the halfway line. Good pass by Taylor for Ipswich. Angles it to the near side, the right, and Hutchinson. Ipswich have started with great purpose and pace. Hutchinson edge of the penalty area. Left-footed corner. Takes a deflection and hits the post again. And Ipswich denied, but it's come back to Edmondson. Low ball right across the face of goal, and it's going to go behind for a goal kick. But Ipswich have hit the woodwork twice in the first 8 minutes. Both posts have now been struck. Surely it won't be too long before they take the lead.
Well, before the game we talked a lot about the two wide players for Ipswich, Hutchinson and Sarmiento, both on loan from Premier League sides, both learning their trade, both getting opportunities at this level and playing first team football. They both hit the post inside the first 6 or 7 minutes. Really unlucky. Amari Hutchinson allowed to come inside on his left foot. They've got to try and stop the supply to those two if they possibly can, get tight with the wing backs if they can get close to those two, but they're so tricky, so dangerous and so difficult to play against.
Ipswich Town 0, Maidstone United 0 in the FA Cup on TalkSport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. At 2:30, Adrian Durham will take you around the grounds for all the goals as they go in. At 3 o'clock on TalkSport 2, we've got commentary of Everton against Luton. Then you can have your say on the game day phone in. Before, at 7 o'clock, we'll be down at Craven Cottage for Fulham against Newcastle. Also, of course, in the 4th round of the FA Cup. By the way, the cricket earlier, day 3 of the first test, India against England. England 316 for 6 at close, and that's a lead of 126. Commentary continues tomorrow on TalkSport 2. Here's Taylor, little touch for Ipswich, midway inside Maidstone territory. It's come to Aluko, long way from goal, dinks the ball into the box, a little lob towards Taylor. That was slightly overhit, and it's all the way through to the goalkeeper, Lucas Covolan. And every touch of a Maidstone player is being greeted with raucous cheers, Matt, from the 4,500.
Yeah, and a bit of respite for them. Sonny Aluko's perfect for this type of game where Maidstone are going to sit in. Plenty of bodies on the edge of the box. He's got that guile, that creativity, the ability to pick a pass when it's so tight. Happy to take it in tight areas. In fact, they've got so much quality and players that are willing to take people on in that final third, and that'll be difficult for Maidstone to try and contain.
Just under 10 minutes played, and it's Ipswich 0, Maidstone 0. Ipswich have almost exclusively had the ball. Possession stats must be well into the 70s and 80s, and they've been dominant territorially as well. And twice they've hit the post. Forward by Aluko to the halfway line and Sarmiento. What's impressive about this Ipswich team is they're so confident in possession all over the field. Aluko, great ball. Broadhead is in. Saved by Covolan. Turned it away with his legs. And now Gavin Hoyt comes across to sweep it away for Maidstone. It's like the Alamo already at the back there, and they've given it away to Sarmiento. Sarmiento's cross deflected away at the near post. It comes back towards the Brighton low knee. Swept clear by George Fowler. Up towards Ducourt halfway. He held it up. He was fouled by Axel Tuancebi. Good save again by Covolan. So that's twice that Ipswich have hit the post, and twice that Covolan has bailed Maidstone out. Broadhead should have scored 0-0.
Well, Thursday night, Bournemouth 5-0 up against Swansea at half-time. This could be 5 inside the 11 minutes. As it is, it's still 0-0.
Well, Matt, we've seen Ipswich do this to teams, haven't we? We certainly saw it in League One last season as they romped to promotion. They are so capable of scoring goals. And Kieran McKenna's side, who are second in the Championship, really taking the game to the visitors from the National League South, and there looks to be an almighty gap between the two at the moment, but it's still 0-0. Here is Liam Sol, far side to right from Maidstone, midway inside the Ipswich half, goes back to Corn on the halfway line, and here is Paul Appiah, the Dutchman, on the halfway line now to the near side, and Cipriano, who's got his hair tied up in a bun. Long ball high up the near side touchline, not convincingly headed clear by Dom Ball, but then Dooku got his wires crossed with Jacob Berkeley Adjupon, and Dooku inadvertently heading the ball straight out of play, and maybe that's understandable. He's only had a few days with his new teammates.
Yeah, I mean, Maidstone are actually trying to play a back four. Gavin Hoyt at right back, but Liam Sol is having to fill in on that right hand side as a wing back. He doesn't want to do it. He wants to try and play centrally if he can, but such is the quality in the forward areas, in the wide areas for Ipswich, he's having to do so much defensive work. Hutchinson's staying really wide on the right hand side. Sarmiento's drifting. By drifting, he's allowing Cameron Humphreys to get forward, and that's where Liam Sol's having to defend in that right back position where he doesn't really want to be.
Yeah, we thought that Sam Bone might drop into a defensive 3. They played with a defensive 3, or a flat back 5 if you like, against Stevenage of League One in round 3. They have started with a back four. They've looked exposed on more than one occasion so far, Maidstone United, but it is still 0-0 in the fourth round of the FA Cup. Certainly this is a weekend for the TalkSport app if you haven't downloaded it already. You can swipe between both stations. Opportunity for Berkeley Adjapong to thread the ball towards the edge of the penalty area, cleared away by Humphreys for Ipswich before Sol could reach it. And Ipswich, the ironic cheers of the home supporters as that attack from the visitors comes to an end. It's now with Taylor just shy of the halfway line. Taylor marauds forward into Maidstone territory. His pass is half intercepted by Sol. There are actually a few Maidstone fans, I can see them in their amber shirts in the home section in the very lower tier of the cobbled stand, but it's all in good spirit, I think, over there.
Yeah, I think so as well. Good opportunity for Nathan Broadhead playing up front today for Ipswich. Joy Hurst picked up an injury, looks going to be out for the season.
Yeah.
And Caden Jackson's been playing in that position, but they are a little bit short of options in that number 9 position. So Nathan Broadhead gets the opportunity today.
Just one goal in his last 10 coming into this lunchtime. Ipswich could have already scored 4, and that's no exaggeration. And somehow it stayed 0-0 13.5 minutes into the match. Good turn by Aluko. Great experience that he brings to the team, Sonny Aluko. Rare start for him today. Out to Hutchinson on the near side to right. Back in field to Aluko. Edge of the penalty area. A sea of amber shirts in front of him. Aluko twists one way and then the other. Plays it wide to the near side and ball. Back in field again. Hutchinson. Another left-footed curler and another flying save from Coverland. That a save that you'd probably expect the goalkeeper to make, but 3 times he's been worked in the opening 14 minutes, and Ipswich have forced their first corner.
Once again, Hutchinson's allowed to come inside on his left foot and get his shot away. Can't afford to keep opening the goal up and letting him take aim. Good save away to his right from Coverland, but as you quite rightly say, one you would have expected him to make.
George Elokobi, the Maidstone boss, energetic presence on the touchline, looks concerned. Kieran McKenna is still sitting in the Ipswich dugout. He's the Ipswich manager who's brought such success to the club, led them back to the championship last season. Tuan Sebi and Edmondson are both forward for Ipswich Town. A flurry of players in and around the penalty spot. Referee's just having words with Edmondson. Anthony Taylor is the referee today, and Maidstone have brought everybody back bar Liam Sol. Corner on the far side, Sarmiento to whip it in, and the header over the top from Edmondson. Darted into the near post, but couldn't flick it underneath the crossbar. Miles over the top and into the Sir Alf Ramsey end.
Always find it fascinating how teams defended those corners. Maidstone were man for man. Sometimes it's zonal, and a lot of teams prefer that now, but that was man for man. I guess in this age with VAR, not today, of course. There's no VAR today, but you get a lot of decisions from pulling in the box, and teams that's the reason why teams do go zonally.
That's the voice of Matt Holland, formerly of this parish, of course, and formerly of Ipswich Town. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1 in the Scottish Premiership. Cyril Dessers has put Rangers in front, starting the day 8 points off Celtic with 2 games in hand, including this one. All the goals as they go in from 2:30 on TalkSport with Adrian Durham. Hutchinson, infield to Sarmiento, lovely twist and turn, down by the dead ball line, checks back, plays it back to Hutchinson again, opportunity for another left-footed curler, back up wide to Sarmiento, right-hand edge of the 18-yard box, everybody back for Maidstone, Sarmiento being held up by Corn, whips in the delivery, high to the far post, and Humphreys won't be able to knock it back across goal, but he has kept it in play in front of the Maidstone fans on the far side. Back it goes to Morsey now, Morsey within shooting range, and the goalkeeper just about got something on it. It looked like it was going to dip beyond Coverland at his near post, but once more the orange-clad big goalkeeper is there to deny Ipswich Town, and somehow Ipswich are still not in front, though Kieran McKenna will really feel they should be.
Yeah, they should be. A good hit from Sam Morsey. He actually had an opportunity about 5 minutes ago and didn't pull the trigger. This time he did from about 25 yards, slight angle. Made a bit of a mess of this one, Coverland, but did enough to tip it round the post.
We saw Morsey score from distance via deflection against Leicester here in the Championship over Christmas. Corner from Sarmiento, whipped in underneath the crossbar, but nobody in blue and white can get the final touch. Enough physicality and presence in the Maidstone ranks for the ball to fall behind and away for a goal kick. To just give you some perspective on how impressive this run has been, that the first 6th tier club to reach the 4th round since Kidderminster did that in 21-22, eventually losing at home to a late Declan Rice goal for West Ham, and they're the first National League South team to reach this stage. As Matt was saying earlier, since Haventon Waterlooville, who went to Liverpool, scored twice, but lost 5-2.
Yeah, incredible. Just looking at Maidstone, the ball was dead and they've taken their time over the goal kick. They're just trying to get a breather and try and work out a way of how to stop Ipswich, how to stop them playing. Sarmiento's causing them all sorts of problems. He's just drifting into central areas and they can't get close to him.
Walton, the Ipswich goalkeeper, with a rare touch in the context of the game so far. 18 minutes gone, Ipswich 0, Maidstone 0. Morsey from midway inside his own half just steers the ball back to the feet of Edmondson, who's looking up into bright sunshine, a lovely day in Suffolk, and not too chilly either, though maybe that's Reshmin's heater that's keeping us warm. Here's Hutchinson down the Ipswich right, blocked off by Cipriano, the Maidstone left back, and that's an Ipswich throw 10 yards into opposition territory.
Yeah, it's really difficult for them in central midfield, Maidstone, because Sonny Aluko's playing as a number 10. He's drifting, trying to get on the ball, but so too Sarmiento getting into that area, and they're not quite sure who to pick up. There's always one of them free.
Here come Ipswich in their blue and white again. Humphreys, far side there left, back in field to Morsey, up 20 yards into the Maidstone half, back now to Axel Tuansebi. Inside the centre circle, now wide to the near side, and Hutchinson touches it on neatly to Aluko. Aluko dummies the defender, rolls in a right-footed cross, took a deflection off Sarmiento, that actually took it away from goal rather than towards it, but Humphreys has retrieved the ball down with a dead ball line. His looping cross almost catches out the goalkeeper. It's come back to Aluko, and the assistant is signalling on the far side, and the near side rather, that checkered flag up into the air. I think he's saying the ball had already gone out of play, looping over the top of the crossbar from the initial cross of Humphreys, and it's a goal kick to Maidstone United, who have survived an early siege, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, somehow it's still 0-0 because it has been all Ipswich. They've done brilliantly to keep Ipswich goalless. Defensively it's tough work for them, really difficult, because Ipswich are moving the ball so quickly and they're stretching Maidstone massively, and they can't get tight to anybody at the moment. Coverland's had to make a big save. If they're going to get a result today, the goalkeeper's got to play well, they've got to play well. Ipswich are going to have an off day, which they're not having. It's such a difficult game for them. Ipswich have started so brightly. At the moment they're just chasing shadows.
Well, George Enakobi has said that it's win-win for his team, regardless of what happens on the field, and I think that's probably a fair assessment for Maidstone United. They've done so much for the club across the run so far, regardless of what happens on the field today. Here is Hutchinson for Ipswich, cuts inside Cipriano, hits it left-footed, well blocked by Appiah. Hutchinson has got the beating of Cipriano every single time. He's just got pace to burn. Cipriano cannot keep up with him, and that was a brave block from Paul Appiah coming across the centre half to divert it behind for another Ipswich corner. 0-0.
He's still down, suffering the effects of that block. It was really brave, but they can't afford to let Hutchinson come inside as often as they are doing. They're going to have to double up on him. They're going to have to get one of the central midfielders across to try and help Cipriano, because at the moment he is struggling to contain Amari Hutchinson. Every time he picks the ball up, he's looking to get inside on his left foot, get his shot away, and he's done it 3 or 4 times already.
Cipriano, a former Watford and Southend United player, and in fairness, he's not the only player this season who's struggled to contain the pacey threat of the Chelsea loanee Amari Hutchinson, who normally is used as an impact sub in games, but I've always been impressed whenever I've seen him this season. He'll take the corner in front of the packed Sir Alf Ramsey end of the ground, left-footed, whipped into the 6-yard box, and Edmondson again with a header over the top, and Coverland, the goalkeeper, is screaming at his defenders. Appiah and Hoyt and Dooku are all involved as well. A little bit of an argument going on amongst that Maidstone back line, because it was a free header for Edmondson, and he really should have scored.
He should have scored. He's a real threat from set pieces as well. He often gets his head on the end of them. He's already won one header, which he flicks over the top of the bar. This one's an even better chance. 6 yards out, golden opportunity, and he heads it wide.
Maidstone are clinging on as we tick towards the midway points of the first half, but it is still 0-0. Header away by Tuansebi, midway inside his own half the field, and then it's nudged forward by Appiah for Maidstone, deep into the Ipswich half. Dooku went down, was fouled, and that'll be a free kick. And territorially so far, this is probably as good as it's got for the non-leaguers. A free kick, dead centre, midway into Ipswich territory. You'd have to think, Matt Holland, set plays will be an opportunity that they simply have to look for if they're going to create something today.
Well, it's going to be their best opportunity, isn't it, of finding a goal. And they've taken the time. Every time they've had a set piece or the ball's gone dead, they've taken their time just to get a breather. And it gives them an opportunity to get the defenders up as well in support. And you know this one's going straight in the box.
Well, Fowler has come forward from central defence. Appiah's there as well. It's floated towards the left-hand side by Korn. High to the penalty area. Cipriani was jumping. Good header away by Tuansebi. And the ball is kept in play by Hutchinson to prevent the corner. Appiah's won it back for Maidstone. Much taller than Hutchinson and much physically stronger. He held it up well. And it's fed back by Sam Bone, a Chelsea fan born in Malaysia, to the halfway line, and Korn goes crossfield to Gavin Hoyt. Hoyt looked towards Liam Soul. He was dispossessed momentarily. It's come back to Fowler for Maidstone on the halfway line. And this, in terms of possession, we were talking about territory a few moments ago. The ability to string 6 or 7 passes together, as good as it's got for the National League South team, and it will build some confidence as well. Ball pumped down the right-hand side by Fowler. Brilliant ball towards Soul. Soul on the right-hand edge of the box. Oh, he couldn't take it in his stride. Cleared away by Humphreys. It's come back to Hoyt, who crosses up towards Reynolds. Headed away bravely by Don Ball. First threat on the Ipswich goal, but Ipswich deal with it pretty convincingly. And now Aluko charging forward on the near side, the right on the counter. Appiah comes across. Appiah shrugs him aside. He'll roll it back to Kovalan. Lucas Kovalan, the goalkeeper, hammers it away for Maidstone United, who maybe have arrived in the 4th round tie. And now Duku has popped it through to Reynolds, but the offside flag is up. And the fury of 4,500 away supporters raining down on the assistant on that cobbled side of the ground.
Well, we were right in line with that. We could see it was a couple of yards offside, but that was a better couple of minutes from Maidstone, actually committing bodies forward. They'd moved the ball quite nicely, got a few passes in. They've been disciplined up to this point, but haven't really been able to threaten Ipswich at the other end. That's been their best period. The danger is that they get caught up the pitch, Ipswich counter-attack, and actually Shoni Aluko had the chance, didn't he? Appiah was able to stick with him. He'd be glad it was Sonny Aluko trying to run him rather than Amari Hutchinson.
The lowest ranked side left in this season's FA Cup will be with Newport at home to Manchester United tomorrow afternoon, live on Talk Sport. Before that, Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool up against Norwich, and West Brom against Wolves in a huge Black Country derby in the 4th round. That's an 11:45 kick-off. Here is Tuansebi for Ipswich, midway inside the Maidstone half. Maidstone with everybody back. Ball with a good cross. Broadhead's free at the far post, nodded down by Humphreys, who was just beaten to it in the nick of time by Gavin Hoyt, who was able to get it away, and then it's given away by Jacob Berkeley Adjipong, a former Crystal Palace youth player who raises an arm up into the air in apology, just hoisted it downfield to nobody in particular, and Ipswich can flood forward again, this time with Aluko, who's seen a lot of the ball in the 10 roll, skips infield away from Bone, but Bone nudges back at him to win it back, and then Bone has given it straight back to Ipswich and Tuansebi. They were trying to break on the counter, but they couldn't do so, Maidstone. It's 0-0 on Talk Sport. Here is Taylor, edge of the D, forward to Hutchinson, dinks it up high towards Humphreys at the back post. He can't keep it in, and out of play it goes for a goal kick. And look, Matt Holland, we're only 25.5 minutes in, and Ipswich on another day could already have scored a hatful. But the longer it stays goalless, of course, the more frustrations for the home fans might start to come into play.
And it'll give Maidstone belief that they can try and get something out of this game. Disappointing there from Amari Hutchinson. Jeremy Sarmiento was right in front of him. He tried to pick a much more difficult pass, but there's always a spare man. There's always somebody on for Ipswich, and they're moving the ball really well. They've just got to be patient.
Nearly 100 league places between the two teams. Ipswich, who've been brilliant in their first season back in the Championship and in the automatic promotion spots, and they're on the attack yet again. Hutchinson once more, tearing beyond Cipriani, lays the reverse ball into the path of Taylor. He slides it in crosses, hacked away by Fowler, out of play. Bit of desperation about the Maidstone United defending again there. It's a throw to Ipswich, level with the edge of the 18-yard area. A throw taken square and infield to Hutchinson, back to Ball. Ball on the edge of the 18-yard line, gets the return pass from Taylor and stops, and walking pace feeds Morsey. Morsey whips in the cross in towards Broadhead, headed away again, this time by Hoyt coming across the captain, and now it's picked up by Sarmiento. Dazzling feet on the far side of the field. Back it goes to Humphreys, now Taylor. Ipswich certainly will not panic, and their free-flowing football is a feature of this hugely impressive team that Kieran McKenna has managed to build since taking over just over a couple of years ago. Morsey's midway inside the Maidstone half. He's dinked it to the right and ball first time lofted pass high up to Hutchinson, who's brought it down with ease. Ball sticking to his feet like glue, Hutchinson, in this first half so far. Back to ball again. Maidstone holding firm for now. Dinked in by Morsey, high up to the penalty spot, headed away by Fowler. It'll drop down to Sarmiento into the box, a right-footed curler that's miles over the top.
Well, again, he's allowed to come in onto his right foot and get his shot away. It's just the decision making for Ipswich now in that final third. A couple of times they've made bad decisions. Jack Taylor and Sam Morsey playing central midfield. Sam Morsey won't get forward too much. He'll just hold, give Taylor the licence to get beyond Nathan Broadhead at times, get himself into the box. He's a goal-scoring midfielder, Jack Taylor, gets himself into some great positions. Got 5 already this season, 3 of those in cups. And he does like to make those late runs into the box.
Maidstone United, though, in their black and amber, starting to find a foothold in the game, albeit they haven't looked like scoring at all so far. Reynolds through the middle towards Dooku, just over hit. It'll be gathered by the goalkeeper Walton. That was a neat slide rule pass, though, from Lamar Reynolds towards Manny Dooku. As we mentioned earlier on in the programme, they do have an injury crisis for their strikers and several forward players who are cup-tied and so couldn't play today either. That's a problem area for them. Ball whipped in by Morsey for Ipswich, headed away by the retreating Sol for Maidstone United. And out of play it goes for a throw on the far side of the field. Still the away supporters are knocking those balloons up into the air. A throw taken by Humphreys from level with the edge of the penalty area, back to Taylor. Taylor goes all the way back to the lip of the centre circle now, and Tuansebi forward to Aluko blocked off by Appiah with his back to goal on the edge of the Maidstone penalty area. Maidstone break with Bow, hits it over the halfway line to Reynolds controls, he's one-on-one with Tuansebi, he's taking him on here, he's down on the left hand edge of the penalty area. Tuansebi just used his physical quality to come across, and that physicality enough to shrug aside Reynolds, who's gone to ground, and he wants a free kick from the referee, but he's not going to get it. Welcome to the 4th round of the FA Cup, Lamar Reynolds, 0-0.
Well, Reynolds is quick, and he's got that ability to, spin in, run in behind and run the channel, but Ipswich have got the luxury of having 2 quick centre halves as well. Tuansebi and Edmondson are both quite capable of dealing with that when the ball does go over the top, and despite having all the pressure, those 2 are quite comfortable with that ball over the top and have got the pace to deal with it.
Well, Ipswich have an embarrassment of riches, don't they, on the bench? That's at championship level, certainly, should they need them. 77% of the possession so far. Twice they've hit the post. Kobalan, I make it, has made 5 saves. So they've done everything but score.
Well, we're half an hour into the game. You said 77% possession. You feel as though it's probably more than that. 11 shots to none. That's the domination that it's been for the home side so far. Yes, they haven't scored, and Maidstone, the longer this goes on, they'll grow in confidence. But you just feel as though it's a matter of time. Better decision making in that final third. I'd be saying to Amari Hutchinson, stay wide as well, because Cipriano is scared stiff of him. Doesn't really want to go tight to him because he knows that Amari Hutchinson's got the pace on him.
Kieran McKenna just standing on the edge of his technical area at the moment, the Ipswich boss, and said that, as always, he would treat Maidstone with the same respect in preparation as they would any opposition. Ball hoisted up towards Dooku, the lone striker for Maidstone down the middle. Robbed of possession, though, by Edmondson, who goes on the charge on the counter-attack. Edmondson is racing away. He's run 40 yards up the left wing. Now he has to find a teammate, and he can't. That was the centre-half in a left-wing position, and he's given it away to Sol. But they've won it back very quickly, Ipswich. Edmondson again. Ball infield towards Sarmiento. Dispossessed by Bow. Maidstone hang on to the ball for a mere couple of seconds before giving it away carelessly again. Here is Broadhead, edge of the penalty area, on the burst, and he's got Hutchinson to his right. Hutchinson caught on the penalty area, back to Morsey. Morsey skips infield, onto his left foot, and he's curled it a couple of yards wide of the top corner.
Well, the last sort of 3 or 4 efforts Ipswich have had have been from outside the box, so Mason will be pleased with that. The fact is that they're so deep, everybody almost inside their own box, not allowing Ipswich into their penalty area, but allowing them to shoot from distance. That's probably the best of all the options really for them.
And it's happening with increasing regularity, isn't it, here at Portman Road, and that will really encourage George Elokobi. 12 matches he played in his career, in his playing career in the FA Cup proper. Elokobi is watching on from the near side touchline with his team on the ball now with Cipriano. Cipriano on the halfway line, back to Bone. Bone crossfield, left to right, towards the far side of the field, and Sol. And Sol taking on Humphreys, back to the halfway line, and Corn, who scored the goal, the winner, in probably the biggest win of Maidstone United's history, you have to say, beating Stevenage, who are doing very well in League One under Steve Evans. That was a memorable enough day at Gallagher Stadium for Maidstone United, on the biggest day of all so far, holding their own against the team second in the Championship. And the prospect of a giant killing, the prospect of a shock, is one of the reasons, of course, why we just love the FA Cup on TalkSport.
Yeah, well, if you'd have said to George Elokobi at the start of the game, you get to 32 minutes, you won't have had a lot of the ball, but it'd be goalless. He'd have absolutely snapped your hand off.
You'd have to take it, particularly when we think about the context, Matt, of the way the game has gone and how dominant Ipswich have actually been, and their finishing has let them down on a couple of occasions, Ipswich. Morsey forward to the centre circle and Taylor. Morsey sliding in front of Bone now, but he's giving it straight back to Hoyt. Hoyt 10 yards shy of the halfway line, quickly with the ball first time to the right, and Sol on the attack down the right hand side. Sol for Maidstone United, taking on Humphreys in a one-on-one. He's been held up by Humphreys. He's got 4 in the middle to aim at. Sol goes on the outside and crosses, but he's taken the ball out of play. And you look at the height of the Maidstone team on the attack. The big number 9 Dooku, Reynolds alongside him, Cipriano the left back, but he's got good aerial ability. They wanted the ball played in earlier there, Matt, and in the end it's a goal kick.
Well, you don't get 2 chances. He had one opportunity to put the ball into the box and then had too many touches, allowed Cameron Humphreys to get back in and block his route to goal. But Lamar Reynolds had made a brilliant run. The ball had to come in and he didn't deliver.
Now Twansevi starts play again for Ipswich Town from midway inside his own half of the field. Morsey quickly angles the ball to the near side, the right, and Hutchinson. He feeds Ball, who'd made the underlapping run. Ball trying to escape the attentions of Cipriano. They're tussling on this near side, the left. Cipriano takes the resulting throw for Maidstone United. Up to the halfway line, and Reynolds, who was having his shirt tugged, surely there by Morsey, he was. Sandwiched in between 2 blue and white shirts, and George Elokobi applauds. And with every minute that goes by, 34 minutes now, the National League South team will start to believe more and more. Humphreys has won it back off Sol, though, looking up into the sunshine on the far side of the Ipswich left, and Sarmiento has skipped past 2 and 3 like they weren't even there. Brilliant run and a low shot, deflected over the top again. That might have just kissed the crossbar on its way onto the roof of the net. Maidstone United, hearts in mouths. Ipswich win a corner. Somehow, it's still 0-0.
He hasn't been here that long, but he's already got a song. He's magic, you know, Sarmiento. And what a brilliant run that was. Driving through midfield, again, eventually getting his shot away. There's the song now, you can hear it.
Matt Holland orchestrating the Ipswich choir at Portman Road. Sarmiento on the field, taking the corner short to Hutchinson. Hutchinson down by the dead ball line, heading for the corner of the penalty area now, taking on the defender. Low cross cleared away at the near post by Bone for Maidstone United. It'll go out for an Ipswich throw. I do think that deflection off the effort from Sarmiento just took it onto the very top edge of the crossbar and over the top. So that's 3 times they've hit the woodwork. Yeah. It has been a barrage of efforts towards Lucas Kovalan's goal, and this time the brilliant goalkeeper was rooted to the spot. Floated out the middle by Humphreys, headed away by Appiah. As a player, Matt, I wonder, do you sometimes start to think, well, maybe it'll be our day, maybe we'll get a chance of our own if we keep surviving like this?
They've had fleeting opportunities, haven't they, on the counter? From set pieces, yes, but also saw moments ago the chance to really put the ball into the box, which they declined. There's been fleeting moments where I just thought there's something on there for Maidstone. Generally it's been all Ipswich, they've had all the ball, all the shots, but there's been moments.
And it's credit to the non-leaguers who did reach the 3rd round in the 1970s. The old Maidstone United, if you like, the new club reformed in 1992. This is the furthest they've ever got in well over 100 years of history, as the chairman, Bill Williams, was talking about so lovingly on TalkSport Weekend Sports Breakfast earlier on. Here is Humphreys out on the far side, hugging the touchline, the left-hand channel for Ipswich. Now he bursts in field at great pace. Sarmiento Square to Morsey. Morsey looks up from 30 yards and finds Aluko. Again, a flurry of amber shirts between Ipswich and the goal. That hasn't stopped them, though, from creating chance after chance in the first half so far. Morsey, another lofted ball up the middle, headed away by Appiah from out of defence for Maidstone, but it's come back to Hutchinson on the near side, the right. Hutchinson, couple of step overs, rolls the ball along towards the near side of the field, and he's taking on Cipriano again. Cipriano being backed up by Reynolds this time, so he's not one-on-one with Hutchinson, Cipriano. And Ipswich have gone across to the far side, the opposite side now, and Sarmiento again. He'll try his luck against Gavin Hoyt. Back five when they don't have the ball. Little flick from Morsey into the penalty area, the Maidstone box, but he can't find a teammate, and it's gathered by goalkeeper Coverland. Ipswich Town 0, Maidstone United 0 in the fourth round of the FA Cup. We've had nearly 38 minutes, Matt Holland.
Yeah, it's good discipline from Maidstone. They've got to stay in their shape, in their position. I mean, Ipswich are so good with their movement. You know, they rotate their positions. Shonny Aluko's up top at the moment. Jack Taylor's then gone into the forward position. Sarmiento's come inside. Cameron Humphries to the left-hand side. They're always rotating, always moving, trying to drag you out of position. Maidstone have to keep in their shape. Don't get crossed over. You stay. You know, if you're a left back, you stay in your left back position. Move people on, but you don't move. You stay in your area, and actually have done that quite well.
Remains St Mirren 0, Rangers 1 in the Scottish Premiership elsewhere. That the only other 12:30 kickoff. From 2:30, Adrian and the team will have all the goals as they go in. Here come Maidstone United with Corn. He's midway inside the Ipswich half, surrounded by blue shirts. He's done well to hold on to possession here. Sam Corn. Eventually Taylor comes across, but he can't get it back for Ipswich either. Little flick header by Berkeley at Japong down the inside right channel, but George Edmondson is there for Ipswich Town to beat Sol to the ball, and now Ipswich can maybe start to launch another counter-attack. Morsey just shy of halfway, forward towards Sarmiento, blocked off by Corn again. Now here come Maidstone with Dooku. Dooku looks to pop the ball down the inside left channel where Reynolds was chasing. No great threat from him so far though, and Tuan Sebi will send it back to the goalkeeper Christian Rolton, who's probably only had 3 or 4 touches of the ball in the whole game so far.
Yeah, good acceleration from Tuan Sebi. Again, Lamar Reynolds looking to spin in behind. Tuan Sebi equal to it.
9 FA Cup commentaries across the whole weekend on Talk Sport. We were at Tottenham and at Chelsea yesterday. Good ball out to the left by Humphries, but well spotted by Gavin Hoyt, who slid in to beat Sarmiento to the ball on this excellent playing surface. Big cheers again from the 4,500 away fans. They've got the whole of the upper tier of the cobbled stand and part of the lower tier as well, and they are loving their afternoon in the sunshine so far. 0-0. And remember, of course, the prospect of a replay for Maidstone United. If they could cling on somehow, it still feels like an almighty task ahead of them, but they've nearly got to half-time.
Yeah, got to stop the supply line, haven't they, to Sarmiento and Hutchinson, as it is now. Cameron Humphries keeps coming inside. Sarmiento staying wide on the left-hand side.
And now skipping infield and finding Humphries with a return pass. Broadhead back to goal, took it off the toes of Taylor. Loose ball could squirm through towards Aluko. Hacked away by Appiah. Ball on the edge of the penalty area again. It's come back to Dom Ball, who shoots. And now Aluko has dragged it wide. Ball missed his kick, really. Got nothing behind it. But then Aluko's attempt at a finish was even worse. 12 yards out, right-footed. Just let it bobble beyond the far post. And big cheers again from the Maidstone United fans, and Ipswich have been so profligate in this first half.
And that's probably the best chance of the lot. Shonny Aluko about 8 yards out, the whole goal to aim at, and he rushed his chance, dragged it well wide. And actually moments earlier, I think Broadhead took it off Jack Taylor's toes. I talked about Jack Taylor, who runs into the box, getting himself into goal scoring positions. He was primed, ready to pull the trigger, and Nathan Broadhead got a touch ahead of him.
It's only Aluko's second start of the entire season, and the one start that he did make prior to today was in the League Cup. He's not had a lot of football, and maybe it showed there. Hutchinson teasing Cipriano again, poking it forward towards Aluko. It's come back to Hutchinson, 25 yards out, quickly threads the ball forward towards Sarmiento. Those two are the key for Ipswich in terms of the players on the field, you feel, to breaking down this Maidstone United back line. Not that Maidstone have been that resolute so far. They've been very fortunate, really. Taylor edged the D with a curler. He's the next to try for Ipswich, and that takes a deflection. Loops several yards over the crossbar and goes behind for a corner to Ipswich at the Sir Alf Ramsey end of the ground. Yeah, at times for Maidstone it's been more luck than judgment, Matt Holland, but maybe they deserve a bit of luck. Yeah, they do deserve a bit of luck. Put their bodies on the line, made a number of blocks. The deflections have gone the right side of the post.
Hutchinson down for a moment. That's a slight worry for Kieran McKenna. Back to his feet now. He's been excellent so far. Cipriano needs some help. He's struggled to contain Amari Hutchinson. He needs someone to come across and double up on the wide man.
Looking across to the corner, take on the near side. It is Sarmiento. A flurry of cameramen just behind him. Sarmiento to deliver high, right-footed, goalkeeper stays rooted to his line, headed away. Initially, the touch was from Duku, the Dutchman, and he's nodded it on to Reynolds, and there are two forward in the attack. It's played forward down the middle, and here's a chance for Reynolds. Reynolds is clear, he's dinked it over the keeper, he's scored! An incredible FA Cup goal for Maidstone United! Lamar Reynolds in the fourth round at Ipswich with a sumptuous finish, and are we on the way to one of this competition's all-time great giant killings? The sixth tier club lead the championship side by a goal to nil. Maidstone United daring to dream, and for 4,500 supporters, they've never seen anything like it. A counter-attack, a moment, a goal to remember, and after all the Ipswich pressure, it's Maidstone United who are dancing with delight. Ipswich 0, Maidstone United 1. Remember the name, Lamar Reynolds, the goal scorer.
Wow, it's taken them 42 minutes to have a shot on the Ipswich goal, but what a finish from Lamar Reynolds. He had a lot to do. The opportunity to counter-attack was on. I talked about his pace, and he's looking to spin in behind. He does it brilliantly. He times his run to perfection. He's got Walton to beat, who's racing out of his goal to confront him. But what does he do? He waits and lifts it over the top of the onrushing Ipswich goalkeeper and finds the back of the net. They've hardly had a kick. They've hardly strung two or three passes together, but they have produced the biggest moment in this first half. What a goal from Lamar Reynolds. Such a composed finish.
And this is why we love the FA Cup. This is why it's the very best. Ipswich 0, Maidstone United 1. Ipswich have had all the ball, all the efforts, all the pressure. As Humphreys dinks it across from the far side to left, it's drifted away from Cipriano. Maidstone have something to hang on to now. The side fourth in the National League South, the sixth tier team. Morsey for Ipswich on the edge of the D. His pass is blocked off by Corn. Lamar Reynolds is the coolest man in Portman Road. To dink it over Walton like that, Matt, that was something.
Honestly, the composure, absolutely terrific, because he had a lot to do. I know he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but he's a big man, Christian Walton, an excellent shot stop, and he came out really quickly, sat him down, lifted it over the top of him and found the back of the net. It was a tremendous finish.
And they all celebrated. Everybody ran over to celebrate with Reynolds. Can they hold the lead until half-time here? Live on Talk Sport, where we could have a huge, monumental cup upset in the offing. 2 minutes of added time in the first half. Ipswich Town of the Championship 0, Maidstone United of the National League South 1. Ipswich have it with ball. He's right of centre. He's whipped in across, a diving header away by George Fowler, the former Ipswich schoolboy, who made just one senior appearance for the club. Swept over the halfway line by Gavin Hoyt. Ipswich fans around us in the main stand can barely believe it. I'm sure Kieran McKenna won't be able to believe it as well. His team really have done everything right, but everything but score. And then they were broken on. There were two in the attack for Maidstone. Reynolds said, "I'll have this," and it was the finish of a craftsman over the goalkeeper and in the bright and brilliant sunshine. And it's Maidstone who are 1-0 up with a minute of first half stoppage time left.
Well, the FA Cup just continues to produce a story, and it's Maidstone United a goal up as we approach half-time. They've had to soak up the pressure. They've been disciplined. They've had a bit of fortune. Ipswich have been profligate in front of goal. They've had all the ball, but when the opportunity came, and it's their first opportunity, they hit the target and they get themselves ahead.
Cipriano having to really work hard to deal with the threat of Hutchinson down the near side, the Ipswich right. There are 40 seconds of first half stoppage time to go. 1-0 to Maidstone. Taylor shoots low for Ipswich, wide of goal from the edge of the D. And I just wonder whether Kieran McKenna is going to think about half-time changes, and those who have started most of Ipswich's matches this season, and maybe there'll be pressure and a little sharper in front of the goal.
Well, I wouldn't think so. My feeling is that it'd give it 10-15 minutes at the start of the second half, because actually, by and large, they've played pretty well, haven't they, Ipswich? They've had all the ball, they've had 17 shots, 76% possession, and maybe been a bit snatching at things in front of goal. They've had some good opportunities. Aluko's the best. Edmondson's header should have done a bit better. They've hit the woodwork 3 times.
That massive cheer signals the half-time whistle, and it signals the fact that Maidstone United, a club that are more used to competing in the Kent Senior Cup than they've ever got close to the 4th round of the FA Cup, are 45 minutes away from a true giant killing. 45 minutes away from being the lowest ranked side to reach the last 16 since Blythe Spartans of the Northern League in 1978. They had to soak up a sea of Ipswich pressure. Ipswich hit the woodwork 3 times in the first half. Goalkeeper Lucas Coverland made several very good saves. They rode their luck, and when the opportunity came, they took it. Lamar Reynolds threw on goal. The former Newport County player dinked it over the goalkeeper, the finish of a craftsman, and at half-time on TalkSport, almost unbelievably, it's the National League South team who lead, and their FA Cup dream is set to go on. Ipswich Town 0, Maidstone United 1. Well, we are 45 minutes away from one of the great FA Cup upsets. The 6th-tier team lead the 2nd-tier team by a 1-0. Lamar Reynolds has already written his name forever into Maidstone United history, but for he and the other 10 players on the field, and there are no changes at half-time for either team, the prospect of glory, the prospect of a place in the last 16 suddenly looming larger than any of them could ever have realistically believed. And Maidstone, in their amber and black, get the second half underway. Ipswich in blue and white, and Ipswich playing from right to left towards the Sir Bobby Robson end in the second half. The most vocal traditionally of the ends of the ground. There are Ipswich supporters at both ends of the stadium, and Maidstone playing from left to right while their 4,500 supporters watch on and dance on in the sunshine in the cobbled stand on the far side of the field. So no changes, but it's the National League South team who lead by a 1-0 at the start of the second half. I'll give you the two sides in full in just a moment. The ball is midway inside the Ipswich half, and now it's Berkeley Adjapong trying to find a way through for Maidstone, but it is dinked back to the goalkeeper Christian Walton of Ipswich. They have ball to Ansebi, Edmondson and Humphreys at the back, Morsey and Taylor in midfield, Hutchinson, Aluko and Sarmiento behind Broadhead. Ipswich hit the woodwork 3 times in the first half. Goalkeeper Coverland made 5 good stops. In front of Coverland for Maidstone, Hoyt, Fowler, Appiah, and on the left-hand side is Kiprianu, Sol, Berkeley Adjapong, Corn and Bone in midfield. Reynolds, who scored the goal in support of Dooku up front. I can see George Anakobi, the Maidstone manager, right out to the edge of his tiny technical area again, applauding his side as they're on the back foot, as they have been for almost all of the game early in the second half, but they have the advantage, Maidstone United. Taylor's ball for Ipswich towards the right, picked up by Hutchinson on that far side of the field. About half the pitch is in sunshine now, and ball plays its way to Morsey, who's on the edge of the D. Ipswich spent most of the first half camped in Maidstone territory. Will we see a similar pattern of play in the second half? And will Ipswich take any of the chances that surely are going to come their way? Hutchinson teasing beyond Kiprianu for the umpteenth time. He's level the edge of the 18-yard box, plays it back to Tuan Sebi, and now out to the far side again, and ball. Expectant Ipswich supporters who've enjoyed nothing really but success in the last couple of seasons under Kieran McKenna. They could be on the end of a very embarrassing cup upset if they can't turn this game around in the second half, Matt Holm.
Yeah, and they're always vulnerable to the counter-attack, as we saw for the goal, particularly with the way they're set up. Tuan Zabi, George Edmondson and 2 centre-backs were both there for quite a long time, 30 yards from the Maidstone goal. Leaves so much space in behind, and of course that's exactly where the goal came from. A ball over the top, the 2 full-backs pushed on, and Lamar Reynolds ran into the channel that Don Ball had vacated. And I'll tell you what a terrific finish from Lamar Reynolds. We have got an FA Cup tie.
And Maidstone are dreaming of the 5th round. Here is Hutchinson on the far side, the right for Ipswich. Back now to The midway point of the Maidstone half in Tuansebi, and now Ball tucks it onto Aluko. Ball headed to Aluko, he's got Taylor square. Instead plays the ball behind Taylor into the feet of Edmondson. Maidstone in their amber and black with everybody back behind the ball, as you'd expect. Ipswich playing from right to left. Morsi, 30 yards out, thought about a shot, was urged to shoot, but held on to possession instead. Morsi, the Egyptian, wide to the near side of the lonely Sarmiento, whose quick feet proved a problem in the first half. His cross is cleared away by Sam Bone of Maidstone. The loose ball has dropped to Dom Ball on the edge of the penalty area. Shoots left-footed. Took a big deflection, I think, off Aluko. Might even have hit his hand on the way behind. And out of play in the end for a goal kick to Maidstone, who've survived the first 3.5 minutes of the second half with relative ease, Matt.
Yeah, a number of deflections in that first period that went the right side of the post for Maidstone. There's another one. This time it hits Shoni Aluko from a Dom Ball effort. It was a good ball to him actually from George Edmondson, who picked up possession midway in Maidstone's half. It's been pretty much the same pattern, isn't it, that we saw in the first period. Ipswich dominating the ball, dominating the territory. The first effort on goal. It's that 19 shots they've had now.
They still can't find the back of the net. Everton against Luton at 3 o'clock on TalkSport 2, around the grounds on Game Day Live here on TalkSport, followed by the Game Day phone-in. And then Fulham against Newcastle, full commentary from Craven Cottage on TalkSport at 7. Here is Hutchinson skipping over the halfway line for Ipswich, and he finds Aluko. Ipswich have a great home record in particular. Lost just 2 of their 17 home games in all competitions this season. The ball is in the centre circle. It's been given away by Tuansebi. Seized upon by Manny Duku. Tuansebi only half wins it back. Corner's got Reynolds calling for it to his left. Corn dallied, delayed, held on to it. Now he finds Reynolds in a crossing position for Maidstone. He gets beyond Dom Ball. He's into the area. He's crossed it in. Headed away. Could drop to Bone, who got a touch on it. A little prod towards goal. It loops into the air. It's gathered by Christian Walton. Maidstone lead by a goal to nil. And that is a reminder of the threat that they pose on the counter-attack to Ipswich.
Yeah, absolutely. The ball actually should have come to Lamar Reynolds much sooner than it did. Sam Corn had too many touches in central midfield before playing him.
He could have put him pretty much clear on goal.
Absolutely. It should have come first time, shouldn't it? He had 2 or 3 touches. You don't get that time at this level. You have to do it when you see it.
West Brom against Wolves, Liverpool against Norwich, Newport against Manchester United, all live on TalkSport tomorrow. And make sure you have the TalkSport app on you. It's free and easy to download. You can swipe between both stations at your leisure. We'll have more cricket commentary on TalkSport 2. England 316 for 6 at close on day 3 earlier. Here is Humphreys for Ipswich, down by the corner flag, pulls it back to Edmondson on the corner of the penalty area. They're laying siege to the edge of the Maidstone box. Jack Taylor shoots. That's blocked from the angle by Gavin Hoyt. And now Jacob Berkeley-Adjepong up to the halfway line, and Lamar Reynolds again. The man whose dink finish has got Maidstone in front. He's one-on-one with Tuansebi. He's 30 yards out. He's played it back to Corn. He's chipped it over the top of Cipriano, and out of play for a throw to Ipswich on the far side, their right, in front of the Maidstone fans. Kieran McKenna, the Ipswich boss, hands in pockets on the edge of his technical area, turns back now towards the dugout, and you just wonder if Ipswich can't break through, whether there'll be changes.
Yeah, and his demeanour doesn't change too much, Kieran McKenna. Win, lose, winning, losing, it doesn't change too much. He's normally quite calm and controlled, but deep down he'll be starting to worry about this, and he'll be looking at his bench now, the likes of Connor Chaplin, etc., who can come on and try and get Ipswich back into the game.
I'll give you the 2 sets of subs as well.
There he is, Connor Chaplin just made his way out. There he is, he's warming up now down to our left.
Chaplin, Burns, Buabo, Clark, Davis, Harness, Travis, Wolfenden and Slicker for Ipswich. Here is Broadhead, 35 yards out, lovely ball through the middle towards Hutchinson, just slightly too much weight on it, and out came the goalkeeper Coverland, sprawling at the feet of Hutchinson. Big cheers again. We've got the official figure, 4,472 Maidstone United fans who'll remember that Lamar Reynolds goal at the end of the first half forever.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter your allegiance, we'll all remember that Lamar Reynolds goal. It really was a moment of magic.
Goal as well.
The quality of the goal, honestly, it was a top-class finish.
Maidstone have Harley Earl, the sub-goalkeeper, on the bench, Perry Iandolo, Bivesh Gurung, Riley Court, Reece Greenidge, Chi Ezinalom and Sam Smith among their substitutes. Not household names yet, but who knows by the end of this afternoon. It's Ipswich 0, Maidstone 1. 7.5 minutes into the second half, and Ipswich haven't really threatened in the second half so far. A barrage of efforts in the first period, yet to really carve open the National League South team in the second. Forward by Edmondson for Ipswich, and Hutchinson peels away from two in amber. It's won back by the second man, Bone, and now Kyprianou is blocked off by Hutchinson. Referee plays the sensible advantage. Anthony Taylor's the referee. A couple of step overs from Reynolds, who has grown 10 feet tall, it feels like, since scoring that goal, and Appiah goes back to Fowler, and there's a much greater confidence about the entire Maidstone United team, certainly than there was, Matt, in the early stages where they could have been out of sight Ipswich in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it really did take them 20 minutes to get themselves and work their way into this game. But as the game's gone on, they've scored the goal, they have grown in confidence, and they've started this second half quite well.
We're live on Talk Sport, and with our partners Sirius XM FC in the United States as well, across the weekend, FA Cup weekend. Here is ball for Ipswich, corner of the penalty area, infield to Aluko, trying to find some space. He looks for Taylor, back to goal, stabbed away by Appiah, and now Reynolds on the break for Maidstone, and the frustration of the Ipswich fans is growing here. And Reynolds has carried the ball out to the far side, the left, and he's been blocked off by Morsey. We've had 9 minutes in the second half. The ball is back with Appiah, the Maidstone United centre-half, the Leicester loanee. Thundered downfield by Kovalan. That was a great raking clearance from the Brazilian goalkeeper, and it's drifted out of play, and you can sense for the vast majority of the crowd trying to get behind their team, there is real nervousness now, Matt Holland.
Yeah, there is. As minutes start ticking away. I've just had word that Ipswich are going to make a triple substitution. Harry Clark, Leif Davis and Connor Chaplin all about to enter the fray.
So that'll be two fullbacks, new fullbacks coming onto the field. Two fullbacks who love to get forward, and Davis in particular does so with good effect, and Chaplin is just the midfield dynamo who'll come on through the middle and make things happen. As we tick towards the hour mark, and Maidstone United thoughts start to turn towards something truly special. They've already achieved such a great deal to get here in the first place, but George Elokobi, softly spoken, gentle man though he is plotting maybe more. Maybe there'll be an Almighty Cup upset today. Aluko trying to turn on the edge of the penalty area. Appiah, tall and firm, standing strong in the way. He's prodded it forward towards Dooku, but he's given it away to Trensevi. And now Appiah's got to get back. Ipswich on the attack. Taylor threads it left. Sarmiento's in the box. Akala! It's in! Sarmiento finds the near corner, and Maidstone's resistance is finally broken. Relief, pure relief, all around Portman Road, for the home supporters at least. Sarmiento, who's looked like the man to make things happen, cut in field, shaped to go for the far corner, instead curled it inside Kovalan's near post, and Ipswich, the championship team, are level, and Maidstone hearts are broken. Ipswich won, Maidstone won.
What a shame for Maidstone, because they had a great opportunity to counter. Lamar Reynolds had made a run over the top, so too had Dooku, and they declined it, or gave the ball away, and by doing so they left themselves a little open defensively. And Sarmiento's been terrific so far in this game, and it's no surprise that he gets Ipswich level. Allowed again to open up the goal and get his shot away with his right foot, and finds the bottom corner with real accuracy.
And now here come the Ipswich changes, having drawn themselves level. They'll make the changes anyway. Chaplin for Aluko, Clark for Ball, and Davis for Humphreys, just as we expected. Leif Davis, 10 assists in the championship this season, the highest number of assists in a championship season from a defender is 14. Kieran Trippier for Burnley in 13-14, and Barry Douglas for Wolves in 17-18. And Davis and Douglas used to play together at Leeds, and Davis was saying that Douglas has been texting him saying, you better not beat my record. But more importantly than that, Ipswich Town have got themselves back on level terms, and well, you have to say, in terms of the pattern of play across 57 minutes, it's the least they deserve. Maidstone United now, how will they react? Davis in behind down the left-hand side, tripped by Gavin Hoyt, free kick, left-hand edge of the penalty area. Anthony Taylor surely going to reach for the yellow card here. Davis was away. It wasn't intentional, but that's got to be a booking, and it is.
Yeah, it is. Took his time, Anthony Taylor, before making that decision. Back-to-back goals for Sarmiento now.
Oh, he's a super player, isn't he, Matt? He was on loan earlier this season at West Bromwich Albion. He's gone to another promotion-chasing club in Ipswich Town. And meanwhile, Maidstone United are going to make a change, and it's Rhys Greenidge, big centre half, 6'6", and I think it's Liam Soul whose number is up. Yet Soul is going off, and Greenidge certainly adds height to the Maidstone ranks, and there's all sorts of concern now for George Elokobi's non-leaguers here, Matt, because Ipswich are suddenly rampant.
Yeah, you'd expect Ipswich to really go at them now, try and find a winner. Leif Davis's delivery, he's standing over the free kick.
It's Talk Sport, and it's 1-1. Davis, as you say, standing over it. Morsey is square, completely unmarked if they play it square to Morsey. Plenty in blue inside the penalty area, though, nonetheless. Including Broadhead, who's hardly had a kick of the ball so far. We saw Connor Chaplin score a flying header for Ipswich against Sunderland here from almost this exact position a couple of weeks ago, and he's one of the smallest players on the field. It's rolled square to Chaplin, over the top, left-footed, first-time strike, had to reach with his left foot to try and get his left foot wrapped around it, and in the end it didn't trouble Coverland.
If I say that Ipswich do that free kick or short corner at times every single game, and the amount of times that Connor Chaplin gets himself free in the penalty box, it amazes me. I mean, look, he's not the biggest, is he? So I guess people sort of don't worry about him in the air so much, but he finds that space so many times.
We've got a former Ipswich captain in Matt Holland with us in the commentary box, and a nod from our Ipswich supporting producer as well. High ball downfield towards Reynolds for Maidstone United, header away by Clark. Now, it's so hard to place demands equal to Ipswich on a team like Maidstone, who are so many league places and so many divisions below them, but what do they do now, Matt, to try and stem the tide? I suppose Greenidge going to centre half gives them another option and has made them, they really have formed a flat back five now, haven't they?
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult because the energy that they've expanded chasing the ball up to this point, the fitness levels are going to be really difficult to try and match it, particularly when they've been able to, off the bench, bring on a couple of players to try and freshen things up as well. I guess they're relying, as they did in the first half, on that counter to try and get Lamar Reynolds spinning in behind, but this is going to be really tough for them now.
Chaplin corner the box for Ipswich. He's tried to thread it square. It took a big deflection and was sent flying upfield into the bright blue sky by Sam Corn of Maidstone United. He who scored the penalty winner in round 3 against Stevenage at the tiny Gallagher Stadium back home in Kent. And they'll play in the Kent Senior Cup in next midweek, Maidstone, so that will be really back to reality whatever happens today. Morsey crossfield ball left to right for Ipswich is poorly placed, and it's out of play for a throw to Maidstone. Half an hour to go on Talk Sport. 1-1 is the score. The non-leaguers were in front just before half time, but Jeremy Sarmiento with an equaliser early in the second half for Ipswich, who have promotion ambitions, of course, this season. The FA Cup winners in 1978 when they beat Arsenal, and they're on the back foot here. It's been played through to Berkeley. Adjipong in the area, twisting and turning and trying to wriggle his way through beyond Edmondson. He went down there. He was sandwiched in between two blue and white shirts. There didn't look to be much in the challenge from Edmondson, and referee Anthony Taylor thought so too.
No, he went down fairly easily. Had too many touches again, but it just shows the threat that Maidstone do have. And they've got that ability to transition well. Again, Lamar Reynolds was heavily involved.
They were relegated from the National League at the end of last season. 15 points off the top in the National League South at the moment. Great floated ball forward by Harry Clark to Ipswich, down the far side the right. Hutchinson is facing up to Cipriano. Cipriano tried to hold him back. Hutchinson rolls it infield to Morsey. Cipriano's really tiring. Snapshot from Sarmiento is miscued. It's dribbled wide. He hit the ball against his standing foot, I think. It wasn't a clean strike at all, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. And Maidstone United going to make another substitution here, and George Elokobi with his assistant Craig Fagan, who used to play for Hull City, are going to call over Berkeley Adjipong here, and coming on is the Maidstone-born Bibesh Gurum, who is normally a slightly deeper lying midfield player. And Berkeley Adjipong, well, he doesn't look too happy actually to come off, but his work is done for the afternoon. And actually, even despite the Ipswich equaliser, and you probably fancy the Championship side, well, you would, Matt, to go on and win it from here. Again, we spoke about this in the first half. George Elokobi would certainly have taken a 1-1 scoreline with well over an hour gone in the game.
Yeah, he would. Look, he's made a couple of changes now. Gurum's come on and he scored the winner against Barrow. in the third round.
And Edmondson with a back pass with Duku in close attention, just about managed to get it back to goalkeeper Christian Walton. So Gurung is sitting deeper here now for Maidstone, and Korn, the number 8, has pushed much further forward than he was. It's been given away to Gurung by Taylor, but Taylor quickly in beyond 3 amber shirts to win it back. They're tiring now, Maidstone. Great run by Taylor. He's reached the midway points of opposition territory, and he looked to be surging beyond Appiah as well. And quickly though, Greenidge was in the way. Ipswich have it back at the lip of the centre circle with Sam Morsey. Ball threaded 10 yards towards the near side, the left, and Broadhead onto the left wing position, and Davis, first time left-footed cross, well hit, but nobody in blue and white able to time the run to meet it at the far post. It eluded Hutchinson, and it's got out of play for a Maidstone throw in the left back position. Of course, they would love to take it to a replay, but they've got 27 minutes plus stoppage time to somehow try and survive.
Yeah, it's a long time, isn't it? Particularly with the wave after wave of attacks that are coming their way. Ipswich have found their way back into the game now, made a couple of changes.
We may be about to see Wes Burns come onto the field as well.
Fresh look for Wes Burns as well. He's had his hair cut.
An FA Cup trim. Here is Sarmiento, edge of the box, gets a shot away under pressure. It somehow squirmed through to Sarmiento, but there was nothing behind it, and it bobbled all the way through to the goalkeeper. Lovely, bright, sunny afternoon in Suffolk, and being warmed up by Reshmin's heater as well. Goes with Reshmin everywhere she goes.
I'm sweating.
Do you want to switch places? It's nice and warm. Header away by Edmondson from midway inside his own half of the field. And then a downward header by George Fowler of Maidstone United, the man who started his career at Ipswich. What a day for him, up against his boyhood club. And it's 1-1 in the FA Cup, the fourth round, and even a draw would be an absolutely tremendous result and a tremendous upset in the context as well for Maidstone. But they're on the back foot once again with Chaplin darting towards the corner of the penalty area, blocked off by Greenidge and Kyprianou, who both converged on Chaplin, and Greenidge with a decent ball upfield towards the number 9 Duku. Duku has played the role of lone striker, and try as he might, he couldn't reach it, and Ipswich can build an attack again. 1-1.
Yeah, the ball was too straight. He's pointing down the channel, that's where he wanted it.
And it's been given away to Reynolds. Reynolds has got Korn to his right. He's played it into the path of Korn. Korn into the penalty area. They've scored again. Sam Korn puts Maidstone United back in front. The FA Cup is casting its magical spell over magical Maidstone United, and we could be on for a cup set for the ages at Portman Road. Korn darting through the middle, timed his run to perfection, steered it beyond Walton, and the Kent club can dream again. Absolutely astonishing, but this is why we'll always love the FA Cup. Ipswich Town 1, Maidstone United 2. The National League South club just will not lie down.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant from Sam Korn. It took Maidstone 42 minutes to get their first shot on the Ipswich goal. Lamar Reynolds found the back of the net. It's taken them 65 minutes to get their second shot. Sam Korn finds the back of the net. He scored the winner against Stevenage in the last round. Has he scored the winner here in the fourth round against Ipswich at Portman Road? How well did he take that? We talked about Lamar Reynolds' composure when he went through with Walton to beat, and he dinked it over the top of him. Well, under pressure from George Edmondson, he kept his cool and smashes it past Christian Walton into the back of the Ipswich net. We are in for some last 25 minutes in this cup tie. Just as you thought Ipswich were going to go on and find a way of winning this match, Maidstone get themselves ahead again.
Stay with Talk Sports. Ipswich have got a quarter of the game left to save themselves, the championship side. 2-1 down. Morsey whips the ball into the box. Only half cleared. It's come to leave Davis. Angle tight. Pulls it back. Sarmiento blocked off. What a great block that was by George Fowler at the Sir Bobby Robson end. Against his old club. Fowler in the way. And they're going to make a double change, Ipswich. Where's Burns and the youngster Gerard Duabo are going to come onto the field. Chaplin on the edge of the box for Ipswich with his back to goal. A sea of amber and black shirts between him and the goal. And here it's threaded forward through the middle towards Broadhead, hacked away by Fowler into the stands. You just couldn't write a story like this.
Honestly, I'm sort of still in amazement, really, because this second half, after Ipswich scored, it's been all Ipswich. They've been pushing and pushing and pushing. But we said, in transition, on the counter, Maidstone carry a threat.
Well, off goes Hutchinson, and here comes Wes Burns. And it's the youngster, as I say, Boabo. He's still only 18. And he's not scored a senior goal. And Sarmiento goes off, so the two wingers leave the field. Ipswich Town 1, Maidstone United 2. The first sixth-tier team to reach this stage since 21-22. No club at Maidstone United's level or below has reached the fifth round since Blythe Spartans of the then Northern League in 1977-78. That's the weight of history that Maidstone have on their shoulders now. Burns for Ipswich, blocked off by Rhys Greenwich. Corner, says the referee, in front of the Sir Bobby Robson end.
What did you say? Havant at Waterlooville scored 2 at Anfield.
They did.
Maidstone have scored 2 at Portland Road.
And it's not quite obviously the same opposition, but as for a level of cup upset, it would be extraordinary. The goalkeeper Kovalan's gone down inside the 6-yard box. Now for Maidstone United, all about game management. George Anakobi could be on the verge. He could be 20 minutes plus stoppage time away from orchestrating something truly special, something to go down in the annals of FA Cup history. Davis will take the corner for Ipswich, far side. Ipswich seeking an equaliser for the second time. Into the near post, Burns got a touch, cleared away, hacked further away by Lamar Reynolds, who scored the first goal. You're right, man, it's going to be some last 20 minutes.
And he set up the second as well. It was his ball, wasn't it, to Sam Corn, I think. Lamar Reynolds slid the ball into Sam Corn for that second goal. He's had some day.
Great awareness, and Corn in a more advanced position, as we pointed out, following the change, and he was there to turn it beyond Christian Walton. And that's why Maidstone United lead 2-1 on TalkSport. Here is Broadhead, out to the near side, the left, and Davis hugging the touchline. He's level the edge of the 18-yard box. Infield to Chaplin. Chaplin wriggling away from a couple in amber and black, but they can't find a route to goal at the moment, Ipswich. And breaking forward now is Sam Bone. Held up midway inside his own half. Bivesh Gurung will take over. And Maidstone have won a free kick, fouled by the youngster Boabo. And it's a free kick to Maidstone, midway inside their own half of the field. It's almost uncharted territory, this, for sides at Maidstone United's level. But they're heading into the last 16 of the FA Cup as it stands. 2-1 in front. Cleared upfield by their goalkeeper Kovalan. Header back into his own penalty area by Clark for Ipswich, and it's gathered by Walton. Walton's had nothing to do but pick the ball out of the net twice.
That's it, they've had 2 shots, Maidstone. 2 on target, 2 goals. Yeah. 2 brilliant finishes, by the way.
Forward by Davis to Broadhead, edge of the penalty area, gets away from one, not beyond Appiah though. It's come back to Morsey, 30 yards out dead centre. Square ball to Chaplin. Chaplin out to the right hand side now. And an opportunity for the cross on the far side of the field. It's come back towards Harry Clark, who shoots right-footed and well gathered by Kovalan, because it was one of those difficult saves where the ball was coming to him at pace and right next to the goalkeeper. So it wasn't a diving save, more a collapsing save, Matt, and he held on to it well.
I agree. It bounced just in front of him, which made it more difficult for him. There wasn't too much power on it from Harry Clark, but it was an uncomfortable save, a difficult one for him to make. Made it look easy.
Somebody just said, is this a Mourinho masterclass from George Anakobi at the moment? 23% possession, 2 shots and 2 goals. They have conceded 1, but they lead. God, Ipswich Town. They've only lost 1 of their last 12 in all competitions. Burns goes on the outside of Cipriani, gets past him like he's not there. He's into the box. His cross is dreadful. He's just chipped it miles away from the penalty area. Nowhere near anybody in blue.
It's a very different threat now for Cipriano with Wes Burns. With his pace, looking to get to the byline. Amari Hutchinson kept coming inside on his left foot. Wes Burns will look to go on the outside.
Dooku has gone down here for Maidstone United. 10 yards shy of the halfway line. And so, with Maidstone United leading by 2-1, let's get team news ahead of the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the FA Cup. First to Goodison Park, it'll be live on TalkSport 2. Everton up against Luton, and here's Matt Jones.
Everton make one change from their replay win over Crystal Palace. James Garner is in for Andre Gomez. As for Luton, well, Rob Edwards promised they'd go strong, and he makes 4 changes as Sambi Lokonga, Bell, Townsend and Adebayo return with Osho, Clark, Pelly Ruddock, Mpanzu and Tahith Chong dropping out. Live coverage on TalkSport 2 of Everton against Luton.
Okay. Ipswich on the attack, you haven't missed anything. They're still 2-1 down to Maidstone United, who have their number 9 Dooku back on the field. But here's Burns in the box, he's clear on goal! Oh, but he's missed it! What a chance! Yes, the angle was against him, but he was only 6 yards out, and he flashed his shot wide, Matt Holland.
Well, I'm expecting the net to ripple. I mean, he drives inside the box, puts his foot through it, loads of power on the effort, but the wrong side of the post. Incredible. I thought it was in. They expected to be in.
And Maidstone are going to make a couple of changes, I think, or at least one. Perry Iandolo is coming onto the field, another player born in Maidstone. And the second player to come on will be Riley Court. While we confirm those changes, let's get team news in the FA Cup at Leicester with TalkSport's Adam Bridge.
10 changes for Leicester from the draw against Ipswich. Only Chowdhury survives. Vardy captains. There's a debut for 20-year-old Jamaican Brandon Cover, and no Kiernan Dewsbury Hall in the squad. Rumours swirling he's Brighton bound. 3 changes for Birmingham from the win against Stoke. Drama, Sanderson and Bakuna haven't travelled. Anderson, Awu and Laird start at the King Power. It's Leicester against Birmingham.
So it's Iandolo and Court on for Maidstone, and Reynolds score of the first goal, and Sam Bone I think is the other player who's gone off. Ipswich 1, Maidstone United 2. By the way, goals as they go in from around the grounds in the FA Cup and elsewhere, with Adrian Durham and the team from 2:30 once we're done here on TalkSport. Fulham against Newcastle later, West Brom against Wolves, Liverpool against Norwich, Newport against Manchester United, all on TalkSport tomorrow. TalkSport 2 on Monday has Blackburn Rovers against Wrexham. Ipswich Town are heading out of the FA Cup with 15 minutes to go as things stand.
And if you're listening, if you don't have a dog in this fight, everybody, every neutral will be hoping that Maidstone can hang on and create a special FA Cup moment.
Well, they might not be far away from it, though. 15 minutes and stoppage time, whatever's added, will feel like an age. Great reverse ball by Chaplin down the right-hand side. Goalkeeper's come. Burns lays it square. Steered away by Appiah. They were cut apart there, Maidstone United. Goalkeeper committed. Burns just had to find a teammate. He couldn't do it. Appiah gets it away. One of those moments again. One of a number of moments today where Maidstone might feel it will be their day.
He's been in 3 times now, Wes Burns. The first one he got in on the outside and his cross was overhit. Second time he smashed his effort wide of the post, and this time it's another poor cross.
Clark scampers infield for Ipswich and plays it back to Sam Morsey. He's 40 yards from goal right of centre. Everybody back for Maidstone. Morsey goes on the outside of the newly arrived Court, whips in a high cross. Taylor's underneath it. He can't get it goalwards. Davis little touch to Edmondson. Was he tripped by Dooku? Edmondson went down. Free kick to Maidstone. It'll be a yellow card for diving. He did look like he might have been looking for it there, Matt, but was there contact?
He may have done, but I think there was slight contact from Dooku. He made the challenge. He thought about it the first time, then the second time he actually did stick a leg out. Maybe he was looking for it, George Edmondson. It did look as though there might have been slight contact. George Elokobi just saying to him, don't make any stupid challenges inside the box, having a deep in conversation right on the halfway line.
2-1 to Maidstone with 13 minutes to go. Long ball from Coverland, high down the middle. Little touch by Edmondson, it's back to Walton. Let's get team news from the FA Cup at Bramall Lane with Alan Biggs.
5 Sheffield United changes, including Ivo Gerbic, newly signed keeper, making his debut. Archer's in, Norwood, Osborne and Norrington Davis. 4 changes by Brighton, bringing in Verbruggen in goal. Also Ferguson, Julio and Webster. Sheffield United versus Brighton.
Thanks, Alan. It looked like a dive, we're reliably informed. Edmondson with Dooku coming across to make the challenge, and that confirms what we suspected. Ipswich are on the attack with 13 minutes to go. They're 2-1 down in the 4th round of the FA Cup to Maidstone United of the National League South. 98 league places between them. Taylor edge of the D, tries a curling shot. It's come back to Taylor via the block of Iandolo. Steered wide to the near side, the right by Morsey for Ipswich, and now Davis. They'll come again, time and time again, Ipswich Town, but at what point do they maybe start to believe it's not going to be their day? As Fowler gets in with a good clearance for Maidstone.
What I would say about this Ipswich team, they've got more points, I think, in the Championship than any other from losing positions. They never know when they're beaten. They keep going.
And they've scored a lot of late goals in games as well. But their powers of recovery have so often been there. You're absolutely right, Matt Holland. Here's Morsey for Ipswich again. Maidstone just camped on the edge of their own penalty area now. Little touch by Taylor to find Chaplin on the edge of the D. Shoppers it wide to the near side, and Davis. All play from right to left. Header away by Appiah and hooked further clear by Court for Maidstone. Up into the centre circle where Walton, the Ipswich goalkeeper, is waiting. Cries of shoot from some of the 27,000 in the crowd. But they're mostly silenced, the home fans, for now. Burns driving forward down the right. Low ball into Chaplin. Spins, turns, edge of the area, shoots. Didn't get enough power behind it. Gathered by the goalkeeper, Kovalan.
Well, he always hits the target. Connor Chaplin asks a question of the goalkeeper. Not too much power on this effort. I just keep looking at the clock and the minutes just keep ticking away. 76, 77, into the 78 now. Not long for Maidstone to hang on. It'll feel like an eternity.
Well, it'll start to weigh heavily on tired legs and tired minds, maybe. George Kirby has freshened things up, of course, in the second half with the changes that he's made. Here come Ipswich again with a very dangerous and very sprightly Burns. On the far side, the right, taking on Cipriano. He's passed him easily. Outside of the foot with the ball in towards Davis. Cleared away by Gavin Hoyt. What a great clearance that was from the Maidstone United captain, the younger brother of Justin, who used to play for Arsenal. Indeed, Gavin Hoyt started his career at Arsenal. Now it's come back to Morsey for Ipswich. Corner of the box, great reverse ball. Boabo steers it in low, cleared away by Cipriano. Bounces up towards Burns. He wasn't quick enough on the uptake. Sam Corn hacks it away over the halfway line for Maidstone. Ipswich begin again. Attack v defence. Ipswich 1, Maidstone 2. It's Talk Sport. There's 10 to go.
Yeah, but they didn't get anybody in the box. There's only Nathan Broadhead who was inside the penalty area. Everybody else was on their heels.
Delays from the home supporters as Kovalan slices his clearance straight out of play. Throw to Ipswich, midway inside Maidstone territory, taken by Clark. Infield now to Morsey. Morsey looks up from the edge of the centre circle and finds Edmondson. Edmondson wide to the near side, the left, and Davis. He's got plenty to aim at in blue in the middle, but so many amber shirts between him and the goal. Now Morsey again. Square ball to Clark. He's 10 yards to the edge of the box. On to Chaplin. Chaplin, the number 10. Trying to weave a pathway through. It's gone back to Burns, and now Clark, and now Chaplin again on the edge of the penalty area. Ipswich pacing. Morsey's shot blocked by Appiah, coming out of defence to charge forward and get it away. And now the tiring Duku, beaten to it easily by Tuan Sebi, whose back pass isn't a good one, but Walton able to retrieve it before he gets anywhere near the goal.
Yeah, but it keeps coming back. This is relentless now from Ipswich. There's a lot of tired bodies away to our left. Maidstone players are really struggling to keep up with the tempo, but they are hanging on and making some brilliant blocks on the edge of the box. Sam Morsey getting his shot away. There was 2 or 3 Maidstone players looking to close him down quickly.
The lowest ranked side in the FA Cup, and they're heading to the 5th round as it stands. It's Ipswich 1, Maidstone 2. Ipswich have the ball with Morsey. Nervous quietness in the home sections of Portman Road. Davis ball to the edge of the penalty area. Broadhead with a snapshot, deflected. Big deflection off Corn. Davis jumps, lets it go behind. Out of play for an Ipswich corner. There'll be a real bombardment on the Maidstone United goal now.
Another brilliant bit of defending from Sam Corn on the edge of the box. Another excellent tackle. He actually hurt himself in making that block. He's back on his feet. Looks like he'll be okay.
We'll get to Ellen Road for team news from the FA Cup in just a moment. Goals as they go in on Talk Sport once we're done here in Suffolk on what could be a monumental afternoon for Maidstone United. Davis with the corner, low into the near post. Chaplin missed his kick. Driven upfield by Duku with power and height and distance into the Ipswich half where Walton collects. Walton is just a spectator. He's like the rest of us watching on the goalkeeper. Everybody is in the Maidstone United half as Edmondson comes forward for Ipswich again. Now Taylor, midway inside opposition territory. Crossfield from left to right. Burns won't reach it. Go to Maidstone. Let's get that FA Cup team news at Ellen Road with TalkSport's Mickey Gray.
Yeah, 6 changes for Daniel Farke's Leeds United. Out go Gray, Kamara, Firpo, James, Banford and Somerville. Incoming in is Pirro, Nonto, Shackleton, Anthony, Byram and Cooper. It's 4 changes for Ian Foster's Plymouth. Out go Devine, Diaby, Forshaw and Scar. Roberts, Wright, Randall and Gibson chasing them. 3 o'clock kick-off here at Ellen Road. Leeds United against Plymouth Argyle.
Calls as they go in once we're done here, and TalkSport 2 will have commentary of Everton against Luton. Ipswich free kick in the right wing position, far side of the field, in front of the cobbled stand, which is where the 4,500 jubilant Maidstone fans are. Ipswich 1, Maidstone 2 in the FA Cup on TalkSport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. Incredible nervous energy around the stadium at the moment, from the team that are desperate to avoid embarrassment and the team that will do anything to hang on to their lead. Far side to right, Davis will take the free kick, left-footed and in-swinging. Everybody back for Maidstone, virtually everybody forward for Ipswich. Whipped in by Davis, not the best delivery. Oh, Corn got a touch and almost sent it into his own net. In the end, it's gone behind a couple of yards or so from the post for a corner.
Yeah, he's not happy, Sam Corn. Thought he was fouled, thought he got a nudge in the back. Diving header. But Anthony Taylor was right on the spot, has given the corner.
Well, a replay might be the least Maidstone can achieve now. Davis with another great delivery. Chaplin! What a save by Coverland! It's bouncing it around on the goal line. Appiah can't get it away. An almighty goalmouth scramble, and Coverland pounces on it. That's heroic from the brilliant Brazilian. And not just him, so many in amber and black fought like lions to keep it out for Maidstone. And Ipswich fans behind the goal not happy. There are 2 players down. I don't know how Coverland kept that out with his left hand.
What a save. Miraculous from Coverland. Absolutely miraculous. Connor Chaplin, how far out? 4 or 5 yards? I just can't believe he hasn't scored. And then it was an almighty scramble. Everybody involved. And then there was 3 Maidstone players down. Coverland dived on the ball. Somehow Maidstone survived. I don't know how, but they have.
Well, Coverland, who's had quite a sort of notable career in the sense that I mentioned it in the first half. If you didn't hear it, there was a National League playoff final for Torquay where he actually scored, I think, to take the game to extra time or penalties. They went on to lose. He's quite a dynamic figure, quite eccentric, the goalkeeper, but he's capable of brilliance too. That was an amazing save, and now Appiah's being treated. They're limping up here, Maidstone United, and they've got to get through another 5 minutes plus probably quite a bit of added time.
I think it's cramped for Appiah. And straight away, I think it was Coverland who was trying to stretch him out. I said there's a lot of tired legs. I mean, that is putting your body on the line. How many Maidstone players were there? 3, 4, 5, all diving in front of the ball. Somehow they've escaped.
It was a goalmouth scramble that would rival the best Sunday League goalmouth scrambles. Nobody could turn it in for Ipswich. Maidstone still lead 2-1. The 6th tier team, who are using up every ounce of energy, straining every sinew to keep out Ipswich here. For the umpteenth time, Cipriano, the left back. Almost poor Cipriano at times. He's been beaten by the flight of the ball from Clark, but it's overhit. Burns can't keep it in. Goal kick to Maidstone. What would a defeat do for Kieran McKenna and Ipswich, Matt? How concerning would it be?
Well, there hasn't been too many bumps in the road since Kieran McKenna took over. Look, he made 10 changes today. It's a damaging result because you'd expect at home to beat a non-league side despite making the change, because he has got a strong squad, so it'd be a big disappointment. Don't think it'd be hugely damaging, but obviously it'd be very frustrating if they were to go out, especially when even before the game he talked about having a really good cup run.
Well, you'd expect at this stage 2-1 up. As I say, the replay would be the very least that they'd hope for, but they want to win the tie. They want to get into the 5th round. There's a foul by Taylor on Bhuvesh Gurung from Maidstone, born and bred. And that'll be a free kick to Maidstone United midway inside their own half of the field. 3.5 minutes plus added time to go. Ipswich 1, Maidstone 2. It's followed the pattern of shocks that we've seen in the past. The fast start from the expected winners. They don't take their chances. The team that nobody expects to get through get a goal or 2 on the break, and then they defend their lead with all their might. And that's what we're seeing here today. It's A competition that gives us these moments time and time again.
Well, I'll give you the numbers. 79% possession, Ipswich. 32 shots to 2. 9 of those on target. 8 corners to 0. It's just incredible, the numbers in Ipswich's favour. But the one that matters is Ipswich 1, Maidstone 2. Their 2 shots on target have found the back of the net.
That's the beauty of the game we all love. Here is an opportunity for Ipswich to surge forward now as Chaplin is brought down in the sunshine, midway inside the Maidstone half. Ipswich are running out of time here. George Anakobi, the Maidstone manager, issuing instructions from the near side touchline. He hasn't left that position really. Morsey is 35 yards out. The ball has been played forward to Burns. He can't get beyond Cipriano. Steered forward by Appiah. And Iandolo with a heavy touch for Maidstone midway inside his own half. It's just thumped away by Appiah. They've got no intent here, Maidstone, whatsoever, other than to just sit back, hammer the ball clear into Ipswich half, buy a couple of seconds of time to stand still, and then they're on the defensive again and they lead 2-1.
Well, all eyes will be on the fourth official. How many minutes are going to be added on? But I said about the minutes ticking away, and we've got to 78. I've looked across now, it's at 88. That's how close Maidstone are to a massive FA Cup shock.
It really is quite extraordinary. A shock that only the likes of George Anakobi and his players ever thought were possible. Iandolo for Maidstone. Blocked off by Boaba. That was really sloppy. Oh, and then Port dived in. Referee plays the advantage because Ipswich have got the ball. Infield by Burns to Chaplin. He's 25 yards out. He's laid it square to Morsey. A bit ponderous here for Ipswich. Just over a minute of normal time to go. Davis delivers. Cleared away by Fowler again through a crowd. High up towards halfway where Duku, the man who was only brought in earlier this week, the club in Gibraltar, has brought it down. And now Hoyt steers it forward. The flick by Duku down the middle. Duku looks like he can barely carry on. I think he's lost his shin pad. He's putting it back on again. And this team of non-leaguers are so close to the greatest achievement of each of their footballing lives. The greatest moment in the history of Maidstone United is just minutes away. 2-1 in front away at Ipswich. Here is Morsey to flick the ball into the penalty area. Burns with the header. Tipped away by Coverland. Lucas Coverland up there with the best of the Maidstone heroes. It's a corner.
What a save. He's still down now.
It's a really difficult save, Matt.
It was. I mean, he had to get across his goal and he had to stay high. He tips it around the post. A wonderful save from the goalkeeper. He's come up with some big moments today.
Coverland being treated. Might have hit the post, as you say, the goalkeeper. Chaplin and corner having words. And we've had the 90 minutes. Here comes the fourth official with that electronic board. Howling of Maidstone and their 4,500 fans got to hang on for eight added minutes. Disbelief, I think, among the away fans now, and if the nerves were tense before, they'll be almost unbearable at this point. Ipswich at the Sir Bobby Robson end with a corner. Davis delivers, cleared away at the near post. Court trying to meet it, beaten to it by Harry Clark of Ipswich. Back out to the far side and Davis again. Davis swings the ball in left-footed, controlled by Taylor, hits it on the half volley, misses it. But it took a deflection off Cipriano, and it's another Ipswich corner.
Another brilliant block from Cipriano, because Jack Taylor was in acres of space. His first touch was good, took aim. Cipriano came across and made another brilliant block.
I think that's corner number 10 for Ipswich now. Another in-swinger by Davis into the 6-yard box. Heads go up, it's Duku to nod it high over the top into the lower tier of the Ipswich fans who are on their feet. And Maidstone United have another player who's gone down. I think it is Appiah who's got cramp. Gavin Hoyt and Jack Taylor having words. Two players from opposing sides. Referee gets in between them. Coverland helps up Appiah. They need one more heroic defensive effort here, Maidstone, in the last 6 minutes and 40 seconds of time that's remaining. It's Davis into the near post. Broadhead's header is over the top. And that's another chance for Maidstone United to waste away a few seconds. They're in their amber and black. They've got their scarves and shirts on. They're lining the upper tier of the cobbled stand on the far side of the field. They are Maidstone United supporters, ready to celebrate one of the great FA Cup shocks. And it won't be over, of course. They'll be in the 5th round, the last 16.
And maybe he'll get that dream draw. George Anakobi.
Wolves. Former Wolves player. Wolves have got to beat West Brom first. I mean, Maidstone have got to beat Ipswich first.
True.
There are still 6 minutes of added time left. Forward by Covalan, the Maidstone goalkeeper, drives it high upfield. Header away by Tuansebi for Ipswich. Winning that goal kick allowed Maidstone just to get 30-40 yards up the field. They've been defending the edge of their own 18-yard box for, well, pretty much the whole game. And Ipswich have got it back again with Chaplin in the centre circle. Wide to the right and Burns. 92.5 minutes on the clock. As Burns whips in the cross, here comes Taylor! Header straight to the goalkeeper. It looped up high and Jack Taylor simply didn't get enough behind it. It's an easy take for Covalan.
Yeah, you said it. Looped up the ball into the area. Made it really difficult for Taylor to get the power that needed to beat Covalan, who's been exceptional in the Maidstone goal. I mean, look, Ipswich have lost the shape now, and it's not about pretty football anymore. It's about trying to find an equaliser, trying to take this to a replay.
The ball bounces down midway inside the Ipswich half. It's with Davis in the left-back position. Lamar Reynolds gave Maidstone the lead at the end of the first half. Jeremy Sarmiento with an equaliser for the championship team. But then Sam Corn scoring what looks like could be the most famous of FA Cup winners for Maidstone United. 3 minutes have elapsed of the 8 added. Less than 5 minutes to go between Maidstone and the last 16. There are players all over the pitch who look ready to just collapse to the ground with exhaustion, but they've got to keep going. George Enakobi with his baseball cap on, still issuing instructions as Davis crosses for Ipswich. Broadhead in the box, headed away, only half clear. It's come back to Taylor, angle tight, blocked off by Appiah, won back by Corn, the 50-50 with Boabo, and he's hacked down Boabo. 5 yards from the corner of the box. That was a tired challenge, and a free kick to Ipswich halfway through stoppage time.
He's run out of steam, Sam Corn. He has given absolutely everything to this cause. At the moment, he's the match winner, but on the stretch, he gives away a free kick right on the edge of the box. It's on the angle, it's on the corner of the 18-yard area, but another opportunity for Leif Davis to throw one into the area.
Just a couple of yards from that corner of the box. Everybody back for Maidstone, everybody inside the Maidstone half, bar goalkeeper Walton of Ipswich. He hasn't been urged forward just yet. Less than 4 minutes of added time to go. Ipswich 1, Maidstone 2. Delivered by Davis. Brilliant ball. Headed away. Even better. The header from Fowler again. Against his old team. George Fowler, who will have been dreaming about that sort of moment last night. Ipswich have it with goalkeeper Walton. The ball is on the halfway line. Just over 3 minutes now. They must feel like hours as these seconds tick by for Maidstone United players, staff, supporters, board members alike. The ball's on the halfway line. It's handballed by Morsey. And a free kick to Maidstone. And a couple of the players just gesture towards the 4,500 who are on their feet for even more vocal support.
Can't imagine there being a rush to take this. And it's not the time to start throwing bodies forward either. Keep your shape, keep your discipline, keep your composure.
They're going to leave it to Covalan, the goalkeeper, to take. Rangers have won at St Mirren by a goal to nil in the Scottish Premiership. So Rangers close the gap on Celtic to 5 points and they'll have a game in hand. Ipswich 1, Maidstone United 2. Live on TalkSport in the 4th round of the FA Cup. An epic cup upset is just minutes away. 2.5 minutes away as it stands. Maidstone have got the ball inside the Ipswich half, but Harry Clark gets across for the team's second in the Championship. Ipswich back in Championship action next Saturday. For Maidstone, their next game is in the Kent Senior Cup next week. That's a measure of the gulf between the two teams. But on the field today, Maidstone have got the advantage. There are 2 minutes left. Here come Ipswich with Burns. He's on the far side, the right. He's level with the edge of the penalty area, taking on what feels like 11 Maidstone defenders. Cipriani this time slides in, and every touch of a Maidstone player is being cheered to the rafters by those visiting fans. It's come back to Morsey, up to Chaplin, who's 10 yards from the edge of the box now. Ipswich desperate in their search for a goal. Floated in, Broadhead's header, saved by Covalan, and he holds on to the ball as well to his right hand side. Heroes through the whole of the Maidstone team.
Well, they've just celebrated that save as if they've smashed one in from 40 yards into the top corner to win an FA Cup final. That's how much it means to this Maidstone group of players, group of supporters. The seconds ticking away, just over a minute left. Not a great kick by Covalan out to Hoyt, who does well to keep it in play, but Ipswich have the ball back and they come again. Just over a minute for Maidstone to hang on. and create FA Cup history.
Maidstone lead by the odd goal in 3. Ipswich Town of the Championship have had more than 35 shots on goal. They've only scored once though over the afternoon, and it's not going to be enough as it stands. 50 seconds left. Davis near side the left. They're deep in the Maidstone half. It's played back to Morsey. Maidstone capped on the edge of their own penalty area. All 11 back behind the ball here. It's with Davis and now Burns on the far side the right. Burns taking on Cipriano. Beyond Cipriano. Chipping in the cross. They're waiting at the far post. Looping header from Edmondson. Is plucked out of the air by Comerlan again. They're bouncing up and down in the cobbled stand on the far side of the field. That might just about be that.
Well, a number of the Ipswich fans are making their way to the exit because they feel as though their race is run. That should be it. 15 seconds left. The ball in the hands of the Maidstone goalkeeper.
Every year you get a cup shock. Every year there are surprises. Some years you get giant killings. This is one of them as the final whistle is blown. The greatest day in the history of Maidstone United. FA Cup heroes, one and all. It is a cup fairy tale and a giant killing never to be forgotten. 4,500 supporters go absolutely mad. Players, staff, club officials tear onto the field in celebration. Goalkeeper Comerlan has collapsed to the ground in joy. Maidstone heroes race across to the far side of the field. They have knocked out the team second in the championship. 98 league places between these two clubs. It doesn't matter a jot. Soak up the magic of the FA Cup. This is why it's the very best in the world. Maidstone United of the 6th tier, the lowest ranked team to reach the last 16 since 1978. Now it's official, and now the celebrations can begin. Heroes all through this Maidstone team. George Elakobi, the former Wolves player, has masterminded something truly special. It's desperate disappointment for Kieran McKenna's Ipswich. Their attention will turn back towards a promotion push for the Premier League, but they have been embarrassed by the non-leaguers today. Lamar Reynolds with the opening goal for Maidstone United. Jeremy Sarmiento with an equaliser. Sam Corn, who scored the penalty winner in the third round against Stevenage, with the winner at Portman Road today. These are moments. This is a match. This is a day that will be remembered forever by everybody associated with Maidstone United. They are into the 5th round of the FA Cup. A special day, a special cup shock on Talk Sport. Ipswich 1, Maidstone 2.